Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another chat of I Am Patient. I am your fearless host here with you most Thursdays. I'm Brenda Snow, and today's guest will not disappoint. So the wonderful person that you're looking at here with me, his name is Courtney Dober. He is
Hello.
the founder. Hi. He is the founder of CleverDux. He's the founder of See and Save, a really important organization I want to talk to you guys about today, and to obviously Courtney. And for those of you that are TV fans, you might know Courtney from a great television show called The Fixers, where the team of people, Courtney's one of the hosts, go into underprivileged communities all over the world and come up with solutions to make a difference, clean water, housing. And on top of that, sort of my shameless secret, if you're a friend of Bachelor Nation, you'll remember Courtney from the Bachelor Winter Games. So with all of that stuff, Courtney, hi, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to see you through the virtual space and talk about all these great things. And congratulations on this show. I mean, it's a fantastic platform and you've got a great thing going. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, we're glad to. So let's start off a little bit about, let's tell people what your nonprofit organization is, See and Save. I know that you're trained from your education, an industrial designer, so you invent things and build things. So let's start off with the nonprofit See and Save and sort of let everybody know the genesis of that and how it came to be.
Yeah, sure. Well, basically, I can't sit still. I'm fairly ADHD, so I've always had about 10,000 different jobs and whatnot. And one of them was in childcare, and I ended up being at the same childcare facility for 10 years. And it was a fantastic job. I just got to run around with kids all day on the school oval. So it kept me entertained and busy, and hanging out with kids was always a blast. But I suppose my industrial design mind and my problem solving mind was really pushed to the test daily, really, when we were trying to recognize medical conditions that children had and the growth rate of medical conditions, which was just growing at an exceptional rate, and wasn't something that was going to be slowed down. So look, there's no simple solution to cure medical conditions, but as a childcare worker, identifying a medical condition in an emergency situation is absolutely vital and could be the difference between life and death for a child. So I suppose it was an issue that I faced every day as a childcare worker. And so I thought, what can I do here to make this easy for myself, really? I mean, that was the basis of the whole thing. It was like, how can I make my job easier? And how can I remove liability from myself and from the school and the other teachers and carers if something does go wrong? Because I am at fault. I'm in charge. So
being able to recognize if a kid had an allergy to something, or we've worked in epilepsy for a long time. If it was a person living with epilepsy, you wanted to say what could be something that I could see that would help them and help us.
Exactly. So I'll paint you a picture. Basically, I had 40 kids each day on a school oval, and they're all running around wearing the same school uniforms. And to recognize a child's medical condition from a distance is near impossible because they all look the same. They do. They're all 8 to 10 years old, and they're all the same height, wearing hats, same school uniform. It's just like seeing a bunch of little munchkins run around identical. And so when one of them comes up to you and says, "I'm really tired, Courtney, I'm out of breath," you say, "Well, sit down, have a glass of water and you'll be fine." And then 5 to 10 minutes passes by and they start to wheeze and their airways start to close, and you go, "Well, okay, this is actually something more than just being puffed out from running around. Are you asthmatic?" And they say, "Oh yeah." And you say, "Well, did you bring your asthma puffer?" And they say, "Well, no." And then so you grab a student and you send them back to the office and they come back up, and then, of course, those signs and symptoms are very similar between different medical conditions. And so you could be treating it for asthma when it's actually an allergic reaction, or worst case, it's anaphylaxis. And so therefore you need an EpiPen. So situations like that happen daily. And unfortunately in Australia, we had over 300,000 hospitalizations every year for misdiagnosed medical conditions. And then there was numerous deaths. Now, it really hit home for me, and I really had to fast track my design process and whatnot when an 8-year-old boy who was at a childcare facility 5 minutes up the road from the one I worked at. Same situation that I dealt with every day, presented asthma-like symptoms to staff members who were in their early 20s, as I was, and they treated him for asthma. And it took 7 minutes, and he went into anaphylactic shock, he went into cardiac arrest, and he died. And he was an 8-year-old boy, and it was just devastating for the entire community. And I thought, you know, I need to solve this problem. And so I designed the See and Save medical wristbands, and I had to implement them at my childcare facility. And then it just took off. And I had, you know, I was always, and what everyone always says, first up when they see the medical wristbands is, do you want to label children? You know, are you sure parents want their children to be seen as having, you know, anaphylaxis? And want people to know. And that was my biggest concern as well when I first designed them. And the results and, you know, the feedback that I got was just unbelievable. And it was parents just being so incredibly grateful that someone was actually taking the time to bring these medical conditions to the surface and recognize them as the issues that they are, and start a process of education. And that's really what it came down to. So they spread like wildfire, and, you know, within a few months they were in over 550 schools across Australia.
This is in Australia.
Yeah, this is all in Australia. And so See and Save was born. And then, yeah, as you mentioned, I have had some appearances on television here and there. And so that actually brought me to the US. And so now I've set up See and Save as a nonprofit foundation over here in the US.
That's fantastic. And I think what's great about it, I mean, I've got this kind of, you know, plasticky type of Fitbit on today. I mean, what you just said a minute ago, parents feeling, or don't label my kid. We don't want him to, or him or her to feel different, but actually they're quite cool, right? I mean, you sort of made him with lots of colors. Do you have some with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are the wristbands. So you've got asthma, anaphylaxis, you've got allergies.
It's great.
So yeah, they are, you know, they're brightly coloured. They all have a unique symbol on them. You can't hold them all because there's 7. So asthma, allergy, anaphylaxis, epilepsy, diabetes are sort of the most common ones. And then I've created sort of a more generic medical condition wristband for conditions that aren't so prevalent, I suppose. And they're for parents to just write on the inside. It's got a writable section on the inside, what the actual details are and whatnot. So if it is a heart condition or something similar, parents can write those conditions on there, and the emergency contact details and sort of the first aid care. So that's it. They're the same service.
I love them, and I want one. Okay. So yeah, I don't know if you have one that says Village Idiot, but no.
I can make you one. That'll probably be the most popular one.
Yeah, it probably would be the most popular one. So listen, I know that, you know, in Australia, this is, you know, it's in schools, it's there, but, you know, the uptake here in the US has been slow. Again, See and Save is a nonprofit status. So what are things, because I think this is a really important thing, you know, as somebody who also just loves kids. I have lots of little people in my life. As somebody who not only has a chronic illness, but I have severe allergies to a lot of things. This is really important. So what could our viewers and watchers of this, what can they do to help? How do we sort of make this a standard in school systems, or make it more common instead of stigmatized?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think, again, it's about breaking that stigma. And, you know, it is new in the US, and I think introducing a new system of any sort is always tough, especially in the medical industry, in healthcare. So I think it's about just taking charge, and actually, like, individual parents, I suppose, can purchase a wristband for their child and then get them to wear them. It's really about spreading the product as fast as it can. And I don't know what the perfect situation is to get these out there the quickest, but I don't know if there's someone who's watching who's on a school district board or something, but I think implementing these into facilities kind of one at a time. I do have them there's a public library in Alabama who stocks them. I've got them in a hospital over in Iowa, the Children's Hospital over in Iowa. I've got them in a hospital in New York, in the Bronx. And then I've also just had a little pharmacy in, I think it was Wisconsin, who just bought a See and Save super package for the pharmacy. So there's multiple sort of platforms and places for these medical wristbands, and I think it's about spreading the word and maybe reaching out to someone who has a child with an allergy or a medical condition and saying, hey, I saw these great wristbands. Why don't you give it a try? And maybe someone knows a retailer or someone works at a hospital. Give them a try. It's a low-cost solution to solving this identification crisis that us as childcare workers and even healthcare workers. I've spoken to multiple hospital workers who work in emergency, and they've said that if a child comes through in an ambulance who perhaps is unconscious, it generally takes them about 20 minutes to diagnose what sort of the first course of medical care is. And so they said if they were wearing an anaphylactic wristband or an allergy wristband, they would absolutely rule out multiple other things and just go straight for the care that medical condition requires. So it's at the very least, it's going to shorten the medical care that this child needs to potentially save their life. So I think it's all about spreading the word. And I think social media is a great way to do that.
I do too.
We've all got social media. So yeah, if we can help spread the word, that would be fantastic.
Well, and like I said, I hope that, having you on this program today, most of the people that watch I Am Patient are all people that have been affected by a chronic illness or a loved one has. And I particularly, we've worked with, literally hundreds and hundreds of different conditions at the snow companies, but a place that's always near and dear to my heart is, all of my dear friends with epilepsy. My sister has epilepsy. So, guys, I'm giving you a shout out there. We know epilepsy is the color purple. Go check out seeandsave.org. So SEE and save, SAVE.org to check it out. And again, this is a nonprofit organization. And I think the more that we can spread the word with something cool, not only to help you, but little people, I think that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, seeandsaveinc.org, I believe I had to make the website. seandsaveinc.org is the name. But I have, just before we wrap up the See and Save chat, I did actually, I got contacted by somebody who worked in elderly care, and they said, hey, I've seen your medical wristbands. My child actually wears your medical wristbands. And I work in elderly care, and we have this issue where dementia patients go wandering, and then they could be in public or whatnot, and then it appears that they are sometimes drunk, lost, homeless, whatever. They're just kind of not all present. And they're exactly, and they're none of those things. That's right. That's exactly right. So she said, hey, would you mind perhaps designing a wristband for dementia? So I worked with her and we came up with a great design for a dementia wristband. And so I now have dementia wristbands for elderly care. So they'll be on the site soon. But yes, let's throw that out there.
That's really wonderful. And, I think about that all the time. They even have them, I think they're called silver alerts that go off on your phone when somebody goes missing. And it would just be really, really simple if there was something on the wrist that had an identification piece, and so we could get that person home quickly. Well, I think it's cool. And again, we'll make sure that everything in the links, we'll put all of the contact information in the way that you can find out more and hopefully get them in your schools or use them for your family. So again, being like the jack of all trades, the kind of guy that you are, and I know we've known each other for a little while. COVID came out. I was freaked out about COVID. The whole world was freaked out about COVID. You did amazing things. We worked together on getting masks to distribute PPE when nobody had PPE. And it sparked another idea that now I think, you know, with the second wave and people going back to school and people trying to be normal, but COVID hasn't gone away. You've got something else that's kind of cool. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So yeah, I don't think any of us ever thought that this would last as long as it has. And I think we thought, oh, great, we'll be off work for a couple of weeks and it'll be a little holiday and that's fantastic. And then, of course, a couple of weeks turned into a couple of months and now it's gone even longer. So I think the first thing that we all recognized very quickly was the shortage of face masks and the need for face masks in the emergency services. So, and that, you know, you only have to turn on the television or turn on your phone and there was a news article and someone was sharing about how low these healthcare facilities were on masks. And so through See and Save, you know, at that time, I just sort of put the wristbands to the side and tried to help with the most immediate situation. And so through See and Save, we raised over $43,000 and we purchased masks from the manufacturers that I have with my other medical devices. So I trusted them implicitly. And so we got the masks here and yes, have been delivering them to various hospitals all across the country and that have been very, very well received. But I think, again, not knowing how long this was going to last for and now realizing that it's going to be around for, even if there is some sort of cure in the next few months, I think the life that we're all used to living now is definitely going to stick around. So face masks, hand sanitizers, gloves, you know, antibacterial wipes, wiping down surfaces, especially if we're traveling. I think when college students go back to school, there's going to be certain rules and regulations in place that state you have to wear a face mask in class, or you have to wipe your seat down before you sit down, or you have to wear gloves, or you have to use hand sanitizer. So
I mean, it's so true. My granddaughter, who's 3 years old, started pre-K, and she has to wear a mask to go to pre-K. So yes, these are all things that I think are going to be around for a while.
Yeah. So I think it's that back to normal life thing that is going to change. And so that kind of sparked an idea, and I thought, well, how can we create something? Because obviously there's people trying to source masks from places, hand sanitizer from places, gloves, antibacterial wipes, all from certain vendors all over the world, and they're struggling. There is a shortage. So again, I sort of lent on my manufacturers, who I have a fantastic relationship with of 6 or 7 years, and we designed a little pack called the Wonder Care Personal Protection Pack, and this is them.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's
great.
Basically, it's basically.
So it's a one-time use?
Yeah, it's a disposable kit, and it's for, if you imagine a child going back to college and then the student, the teachers handing out these kits to kids as they came each day, or made them available for kids as they came each day, or if you were going back to the workplace, your employer would hand you out a little personal protection pack for the day, or maybe it lasts a couple of days. I think even though I mean, in fact, if we could get these on airlines, that would be the dream. I think, Delta, American Airlines, whatever, handing these out to people who are traveling, that would be absolutely ideal. So this is the kit, and inside it comes with, I'll show you, it comes with a face mask. This is
amazing. I love this. Okay, the face mask.
So it comes with a face mask, and so disposable face mask. It comes with an antibacterial wipe. And if you can imagine, if you were boarding a plane and you wanted to wipe down the seat and just make sure, so they're antibacterial wipe for that. It comes with a little hand sanitizer, a little 30 ml hand sanitizer, which is
I love vital. Those things.
Yeah, and then just a pair of gloves. So it's kind of it's a kit that sort of holds all the most important things that we're so used to using now in our everyday lives, and I just wanted to put it all in one spot, and make it a low-cost solution for companies, for people, just for everyone.
I love it. I think it's great. I cannot tell you how many times my husband and I have gotten in the car. we're halfway to where we need to go. And he's like, did you bring the sanitizer? And I'm like, shit. Sorry, I shouldn't always swear on the show, but occasionally everybody knows one comes up. And it's like, no, we don't have it. The other day, he's like, did you bring a mask? And I was like, oh, I have mine. Oh, I forgot. I think this would be so handy to just chuck them in your car, chuck them in your purse, and you're always covered. That's wonderful.
And the packaging is obviously, it's paper, it's recyclable. I know we're all conscious of the environment these days as well. So everything, it's been thought of, so it is disposable and recyclable. So it's just a basic all-in-one kit. So that's hopefully that solves the issue for a lot of colleges, and I can actually, just between you and me, I can actually print somebody else's logo on there as well. So if American Airlines did say, hey, we want 100,000 of them, Courtney, but we want American Airlines. Well, American Airlines, if you're watching, I can do it.
Yeah. Well, that would be awesome. No, I just think it's great that you look at, I mean, there's so many unmet needs in healthcare. And a lot of times, some of the things that seem daunting, you've created some really, it seems simple, but I know how much time and energy you've put into it to just address the need. And again, I love destigmatizing it, and I love the convenience in some cases. Everybody's busy, and again, with the added pressure of the world. So what's next for you? Are you inventing anything else? Are you, what have you got in the work?
I've started a women's handbag company. So that's exciting.
Okay, well, forget the wristband. I want the purse, right?
Yeah, but I mean, look, to just go back to the world and the state that we're in right now, I think it's going to, and destigmatizing, because I think wearables have now become just a part of daily life. And so I hope that anyone who thought, oh no, I don't want to put an asthma wristband on my child because I don't want people knowing that. Well, now we wear face masks every day. We wear gloves every day. We wear these things that says, I want to be protected. I want people to be educated that I'm taking the right steps, or be educated that perhaps I do have a cough or a cold or whatever, and I'm keeping everything. So I think wearables are just a part of everyday life now. And so I'm hoping that again does destigmatize the use and the need for these medical wristbands, because they honestly do save a lot. Anyone who works in childcare, anyone who works with kids, they've said it to me. They've said that's fantastic. That's what we've been looking for. It's what we need. So hopefully, I mean, I could rave on about these for days.
No, it's great. I know you can rave on for days, and again, it's awesome. So See and Save, you guys can check out the website if you want to look at the personal protection pack, and I want a lot of them. And that is wondercare.com. So folks, that's spelled ONEDR.
Yeah, one doctor.
Yeah, like one DR. Yeah, care.com. So those are two great solutions. So how have you been staying sane during quarantine and now moving out of quarantine? You have any tips, strategies for us?
Look, I mean, I just think obviously life's changed, and we all need to stay busy. And so I think these things have certainly kept me busy. But I am such a huge advocate for exercise. And even if it's just a walk around the block or a walk up and down the driveway, like my driveway is like this. And literally every single day I will make sure that I'm sitting in front of a computer or I'm doing whatever, and I'll make sure that I go outside and I'll just walk up and down the driveway like 10 times. And it just has this incredible ability to just remove the stress and anxiety, and you get the blood flowing, and it doesn't have to be a lot. So I'm a huge advocate of exercise. I understand that during this time we're all anxious about work and security and financial income and all the rest of it. So if you can just move a little bit, that certainly helps. If you have an idea and you want to start a new company, it's not hard to do these days. It's really not. You've got all these plug and play websites. You can register a business name. You can build a website yourself. You can order things online. It's like, it's never been easier to kind of start your own hobby or your own company or business. So take the leap. Now's the time. But otherwise, I've just been building. I've got a 1972 Volkswagen bus that I've been building out. So when the world really does fall apart, I'm just going to live in my van and just drive to states. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I'll probably use that to transport the Wonder Care packs as well to facilities.
So we could be seeing you in a van driving around the country delivering these packages. I love it. And it's great. Yeah. Not only are we talking about healthcare, but I love a good entrepreneur, being one myself. So you better watch out. The next TV show you may be on is Shark Tank, Courtney.
Well, I hope so. I've been writing those guys emails for years and they never get back to me. I submitted a prawn peeler once. I had a prawn peeler. You should have seen that thing. That was a great idea. I had a surfboard cover that popped up into a tent. Oh, man. I've submitted a cardboard chair, recycled cardboard chair. It's paper and it folds out and it holds over 250 pounds or kilos. It's like 400 pounds.
That's
Shark Tank.
Amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, they're ready for you. I tell you.
Yeah. But otherwise, I head to Michigan for a fixers bill. We just got approved to help build a gym for kids over in Michigan. So I'm going over there to work for a great nonprofit, and that's in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that.
Great. Well, tell everybody about that. I mean, I know that we talked about healthcare and we've been talking about COVID, and I love the medical wristbands. That's actually how you and I met, because I was so passionate about them. But it's not every day I get to talk to a celebrity. So tell everybody, let's give a plug for the Fixers. Tell everybody about the show.
Yeah, okay, no worries. So the Fixers is a team of 4 of us, and we come from various construction backgrounds. So again, back when I was in Australia, I worked in childcare, but I also worked on a construction site for the span of probably 10 years. And so carpentry is a trade of mine, and I grew up welding and whatnot. So when I came over to the US for a TV gig for the Bachelor Winter Games, if you must know, I stayed, and during the time that my visa was still valid for, I ended up getting a job with the Fixers. So we travel to third world countries, into really, really remote communities, and basically between the 4 of us, we design and build over 6 days a solution to a major issue they're having. So we've done water projects in Nicaragua, we've done vocational schools in Mexico, I've done a horse therapy ranch in Bulgaria for disabled children. We've done lots of different projects, I think almost 20 now around the world. And so because it is COVID and we do normally travel, but the network has approved some domestic builds, which is fantastic. So we did one in South Los Angeles recently for an organization called Concerned Black Men, and basically they educate black youth on the next steps to take after college or school, and to try and get them into college, or to try and get them started into business and whatnot. So that was a fantastic organization. And then now we've just got a new one in Michigan. So it's gonna be a good build, really good. It's a dude who he started like a boxing gym, martial arts kind of thing. He's an ex-champion himself, world champion. And he thinks that martial arts and that discipline can really set kids focused. So, and I know that's what I did when I was a kid, because I had full ADHD, and my parents put me into karate classes, and I was like, yes, and I was so focused. So I understand, I get how that works. And so started a great organization, but he's got an empty factory with basically nothing in it. So we're going to go there and rebuild this 3-level thing as a fully operational martial arts boxing gym with a little apartment above as well. So in 6 days.
That's great. And I can't wait to watch it. And for all of you, I tell you, with all of the news that can become overwhelming, you should watch this show. I watched it and I cried. But I did, because it just, because we're so lucky. I mean, I'm so blessed, and it really touched my heart. And I want to say to you, you have such a big heart. You're a lovely, lovely human being. I wish everybody had their values set like you do, going out to help so many people, from the young to the old. And I thank you so much for your time today. And we'll get all of the ways people can connect with this great information that you gave us. So just look down there in Facebook, everybody, and you can see how to hook up with See and Save and know more about the personal protection packs and watch Courtney on TV.
Yay.
So, yay. So thank you. A big mwah,
Thank you.
a big hug.
Thank you.
Mwah, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
And
You too.
we will probably make you come back again.
Sure. I'd love to come back again. Absolutely.
That's great. Well, again,
All right,
thanks,
thank you, Brenda.
Courtney, so much. And
No
all of
worries.
you have a great rest of your day. Until next time, this is Brenda. Take care of yourself. And I always wish you the best of health.